time. Please welcome two people drowning in bitterness. It's Adam Zessler and Morgan Webb.
Oh, drowning is a little strong. I prefer a wash.
Well, I'm really drowning in bitters, but that's a different story. Hello and welcome to X-Play.
On today's show, we review Tony.
G4TV, especially X-Play, such fond memories. I remember sitting and watching X-Play with my friends years ago, and we were always so excited about all the new games and the way that it was presented. Adam Zessler and Morgan Webb were really interested and fun. It was a fun time. You could really enjoy watching it. It was something we all used to look forward to. I mean, this was of course before Adam Zessler became a raging lunatic and started putting out tweets about how he would gladly sit and sip champagne while members of his family, if they voted Republicans, could die or off this or something like that. That was before that madness. But that was what made X-Play fun. It was interesting. It was good people. You could enjoy it. It was a fun time to be had at all. And we had by all, sorry. So then, it went off air, and then G4 decided to come back, this time being a web-based sort of thing, and they came back with the X-Play stuff. And then in January, it was all ruined by one individual, Frosk. Now, keep in mind, when this whole thing started back in January, I considered making a video about it. But since I am not really a gamer, I play some video games time to time, I'm not a hardcore gamer, I thought maybe I should just stay away from this one. But what has been happening with it so far, been going on, ties into everything anybody tries to do, and about putting out content and about treating your audience, your fans with respect, and that's not what happened. So let's get into this one. It might run a bit, but I have some things to say here, and I think they need to be said. Comcast officially kills G4 less than a year after revival. Be careful what you wish for. After less than a year in business and only 10 short months after network host Frosk told critical audiences, if you don't like it, don't watch it, Comcast has officially shuttered the door on their attempted revival of G4. Now, there's a lot to go through in this article, but I'm going to the rant that she went on about, this rant on sexism in gaming thing that she went on about, right? G4 fully supported it at the time, and then when the backlash started, they tended to take down the videos and all of this stuff. So I have the video. Let me play the video here for you. It's about 3 minutes and something. I want you to carefully look at it and listen to what's being said, and I'm going to touch on what happens with it afterwards.
Sexism in gaming. In joining G4...
This is not where I thought we were going, but I'm here.
I had no idea.
I'm listening. Yeah.
In joining G4, I was ecstatic to be part of something that I grew up watching as a child. But every time G4 is brought up in various channels, even in this YouTube channel, we have the chat in front of us, I can see you, without a doubt, there will be backlash because I'm not as bangable as the previous hosts. It's somehow...
Talk to him, Frost!
It has somehow been expected that you can talk about how much you jerked off to women as a compliment.
That
It's
shit
not
weird.
a compliment.
It's weird.
It's dehumanizing and it's weird. Women do not exist to be nice on the eyes for you. Morgan Webb, Olivia Munn did not exist to be nice on the eyes for you.
Hey, she cooking, y'all.
And that's just obvious sexism. You don't need to explicitly objectify women or declare that you hate women to be sexist. Just go ahead and check out Thorne's latest meltdown on Twitter for some spark notes. Now, here at XPlay, our reviews are written and produced by a team of people. There are too many games for one person to shoulder the burden. So we divide and conquer. And when we use language like we or I, that's the reviewer. That's coming from the mouth and experience of the reviewer reading that review. And that's not to say that Gerard, TBH, Adam, or myself don't contribute to the reviews. We absolutely do. But it'll always be in varying degrees and take a whole team behind us. That's why we're XPlay and not Adam Play. We have done the experiment and controlled for the variables. Adam will read a script written by the same writer that I will read the other half of the script for, but I'll be the one flamed. And yeah, it also happens to Gerard and TBH, but that doesn't discount the sexism of how it happens to me when it does. Both things can be true, that there is a general hatred of any change that isn't Adam, and that I'll receive special flame just for being a woman. And I wish I could turn the camera around so that you could see the incredible team that make XPlay. Half of our producers and writers are women. Emily, Abby, Megan, Joe, Jake, Zipper, Gabby. It goes on and on and on. Former writers that are now on ATOS like Vanessa. When you're in our DMs or on those YouTube comments or in Twitch chat right now, those reactionary threads thinking that I'm somehow ruining your current XPlay experience because you can't objectify me how you previously did to Morgan, or that I'm somehow less qualified to speak on something, but you can't quite put your finger on why, even though I'm reading the exact same script as Adam, but you have no problem with he's part of it. You're letting your unconscious biases ruin my day, and you're gatekeeping the gaming space. So maybe for 2022, we be a bit nicer, a bit more self-reflective, and we enjoy the fact that people are working hard to make free content for you. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Peace.
Hey, I gotta back you up. I gotta back her up. Can I just say I feel bad for you?
I don't need to go. I don't need to. Frost,
I feel bad for
I don't need to go. Don't. We're good. I'm good. I'm good. That was the best it's ever gonna get out of us. I don't need to go. Thank you.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm gonna cover this as best as I can. Now, this whole matter with she and this sexism in gaming thing started because it came apparent to the fans that these people who were reviewing these games didn't know what the hell they were talking about. Frosk was making statements about PlayStation that didn't make any sense, even though there had already been things put out, and it was revealed that, they have people playing the games and giving results and all kind of thing and telling them and writing scripts and telling them what to say. So they weren't even actually doing it. Now, in an era like this where people stream themselves playing video games online on a daily basis, they stream themselves playing video games so you can see them playing it, you hear them talking about it and the other. If XPlay wants to compete, you at least have to do three things. One, you have to be playing the game. Two, you have to be honest with your reviews on what you're doing, and we know that doesn't happen because these companies are paid and given their little access, this and their tote bags, that and their this that and the other, to make everything sound like it's the best thing since sliced bread when it really isn't. And people can see that and they get turned off. And third and most important, you need to respect your fans. Now, Frosk went off about this sexism in gaming thing, talking about how she could see it in the comments, and people are posting about how, she's not as bangable as Morgan Webb and Olivia Munn, and they weren't there just to be easy on the eyes. Let me be perfectly honest with you. Yeah, you're not. I'm sorry, but you're not. You're not as bangable as they are. You're not. This is not me being offensive. This is just the God's honest truth. Because when you are doing visual media, like television, all the kind of where you're in front of a camera and all of this stuff, you need to be pleasing to the eye. People want to look at something and somebody and say, okay, they're fine, and this and that and the other. Olivia Munn and Morgan Webb were attractive, beautiful women. Still are, and stuff. But you have to understand the audience that you are appealing to. The audience for X-Play at the time, even now and all I think, is mostly teenage boys, probably people in their 20s, 30s, you know, people who still into the game and thing or the other. They like seeing attractive women. That's what they do. This is how they appeal to them. So you put on your makeup, you make yourself look good. Okay. Frosk came there now with her Pixieland wood-based haircut kind of thing, whatnot. A ring through her nose, all those tattoos. Now, there are many who I would say will find Frosk attractive. There are many people who I'm sure will find Frosk attractive. There are people who don't. But when you see these people making comments online, it's not necessarily the large majority of people doing it. Yes, we'll have people come out and say that, and the other have some people who will just try to be wicked. Have some people who will tell the honest truth, and like I said, you're really not okay. But when they see you know what you're talking about and they find you interesting, they continue on. But once you are doing this in media, you have to be prepared for the backlash you're going to get. There are going to be a lot of people who don't like you and don't like what you have to say, and just plain and simple don't like you. I can relate to that. People who just don't, there are people who don't like me, people who comment on my videos simply to tell me they don't like me. It's happened more than once. One person sent me a message once telling me that I could just screw myself because I don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm trying to be some kind of homophobe or all kind of this and the other. And I responded very clearly, gave an appropriate response to what I was doing, why I talked about the video and stuff, and they still wanted to look for a confrontation. I didn't take the bait, and I moved on. And the person just didn't bother after that. But you have to understand, you can't be thin-skinned when you're doing this. People are going to come at you. You entered into this entertainment space. You have to understand there are people who are going to be very nasty, and some of them are going to say things and whatnot. But here is the problem that really sank G4 and X-Play with Frosk, because what happened was that you went out of your way to attack your fans. That's what you did, and that is a big no-no. Because if you are saying no, that you know you're talking about sexism and giving, and you don't exist to be this on the fans, and if you all don't like it, don't watch it, peace. And people took your advice and they stopped watching. You have nobody to blame for it but yourself. This is a constant thing in all streams of visual entertainment in this day and age. You have a lot of these companies, a lot of these individuals attacking their fans and acting like people are just supposed to sit there like sheep and mindlessly consume your nonsense and accept you belittling them. It doesn't work like that. The ones who have the final say are your fans. These are the people who you are working for, the people who you are trying to entertain. If your fans get turned off and they don't want to hear what you have to say, they will walk away, and that's exactly what they did. And Frosk now is known for this kind of behavior. The last place she used to work, they had to get rid of her because her attitude wasn't very good. Her co-workers talked about it, or she wasn't good, and they brought her on to X-Play. And she went off on this rant, and all of them were there clapping and yeah, wow, go Frost, woo, like sheep clapping, like seals, and going and clapping about it. And keep in mind, they all got fired, you know. They all got fired. And when you see G4 and X-Play and stuff started to receive massive backlash for what Frosk did, their viewership started to tank. People weren't watching it. They switched, because they had two channels. They had G4 and they had X-Play. They switched them around to try and uplift the viewership. That didn't work. Then they laid off a large sum of their workforce. They laid off a good number of people. And then Frosk had the brilliant idea to tweet out this tone-deaf, tone-dead, brain-dead thing, showing that, you know, she survived and yo, she survived, screw all the people who got fired. And people were like, you have to be out of your freaking mind. And that apparently was the last straw for G4. They bought out her contract and sent her away. But they supported her rant. When she went on a sexism in gaming rant, they supported it. And when the backlash started, then they decided to try and take down. They decided to try and remove the video so people couldn't see it. Too little, too late. People had the video. People knew what was going on. You showed that you didn't give a damn about your own audience. People are going to say things about you. It's a given in this kind of business. But what people were upset about was that you didn't know what you were talking about when doing these game reviews. And rather than be a professional and, come out and say, okay, so is the case and this is what happened and, we're going to do better. No, you decided to do what is classical in today's entertainment space, attack your fans. You all come into our industry where you're going to be fighting your way up, because I say again, there are people who live stream gaming on a daily basis and make money for it, and they do it on YouTube and things, and people get honest reviews from these people. They don't get it from you anymore. X-Play used to be something fun. You used to sit down and watch X-Play and enjoy yourself. Like I say, you had Adam Sessler before he went crazy, and Morgan Webb, and you could enjoy it. They talked about gaming. They did gaming reviews. They talked about different upcoming games. They talk about this. You could tell that these people were actually interested in what they were doing, and they came across to the fans, and the fans were interested. It was a fun time to be had by all. That's why people navigate towards entertainment, to escape the real world. They want to delve into this fantasy realm, delve into this thing. It's about escapism, and you have to provide something fun and enjoyable for people to want to escape into. You don't anymore. You told them that if they didn't like it, they could just, they don't like it, then they don't watch it. Peace. And that's exactly what they did. You caused this, and I mean, I wouldn't say that Frosk is the only reason that this happened, but I'd say about 85% of it is Frosk. The rest of it is the behavior of G4 and what they should have done and didn't do, and this is what happened. They fired people who were working behind the scenes with things to do, and they kept Frosk. After her rant pretty much tanked the entire industry, the entire network. She pretty much destroyed, and you just basically said, well, okay, we're going to keep her. To hell with you. Didn't work at all. And this is where you see it coming from here. Now, let's go through this article here a bit again. The news that absolutely everyone could see coming was first broken to employees on October 16th, 11 months to the day since its November 2021 relaunch, courtesy of an all-company memo sent out by the CEO of telecoms giant Spectator, David Scott. Yeah, so even 2 years and they're done. Understand me? And the whole thing. This is the memo here. Team, as you know, G4 was reintroduced last year to tap into the popularity of gaming. We invested to create the new G4 as an online and TV destination for fans. Yet you didn't even consider the fans when you were doing all this nonsense, to be entertained, be inspired, and connect with gaming content. If only it had stayed that way. Over the past several months, we worked hard to generate that interest in G4, but viewership is low and the network has not achieved sustainable financial results. This is certainly not what we hoped for, and as a result, we have made the very difficult decision to discontinue G4's operations effective immediately. I know this is disappointing news, and I'm disappointed too. I want to thank you and everyone on the G4 team for the hard work and commitment to the network. Our human resources team is reaching out to you to provide you with support, discuss other opportunities that may be available, and answer any questions you may have. Thank you again for all your hard work for G4. Sincerely, Dave Scott. Now, everybody could see this coming, because after Frosk's rant and the fact that G4 did nothing other than come out and say, listen, we are supporting what Frosk is doing. What did you expect? Your fans were the ones she was attacking. And again, as I say, you come out and she came out and said that, you know, just because she's not as bangable as Morgan Webb and Olivia Munn, that's your issue. You could have made yourself look better for the TV. You could have put on some makeup. You could have done. You didn't. You chose to go in there looking how you look, with your tattoos, your haircut, your ring, your nose. Okay, that's your look. Fine, nothing wrong with that. But you have to understand, not everybody is going to gravitate and say, okay, Frosk looks amazing. I'm saying there may be people who find Frosk attractive. There are others who are not, and they're going to say these things in the comments. But again, as I said, the main reason is because she didn't know what she was talking about. I'm not going to say that there weren't people in the comments saying that, because we don't know. They never showed the comments. There may be people in the comments saying it. Again, as I say, this is something you have to expect. But if you show that you know what you're talking about, that you can be interesting, that you can be a good host, that you can connect with your audience, people aren't going to have a problem with it. But you didn't do that. They may eventually begin to warm up to you and like you. Okay, you didn't do that. You went off on your sexism in gaming rant, attacked the fans, and said quite clearly, if you don't like it, don't watch it, peace. And that's exactly what they did. They didn't like it, they didn't watch it, and they left. Peace. That's what you brought upon yourself, and people started to get fired at G4 because of it. And you were still arrogant enough to put out a tweet saying that, you know, you still have your job, too bad for everybody else. So when they put out this thing the other, some people didn't. It came out on a Sunday, and most people found out about it online. There's this online tweet, online thing here from Wario64. This is what they had to say. Hey, this tweet is how I found out how I lost my job. How neat. Next one says, love that this tweet is how I found out I don't have a job anymore. I guess let a bitch know if you have literally any work available. My time at G4 ends during lunchtime on a Sunday. Wish the best, especially for full-time co-workers and friends. Now this one goes on about some right-wing insults, what kind of nonsense. I'm not even going and entertain that stupidness. I ain't even going and entertain that stupidness. We want to get to this part here. As noted above, the G4's revival woes began in earnest in January 2022 when X-Play host Indiana Frosk Black was met with criticism from G4 viewers over making misinformed claims regarding the year's upcoming slate of video game releases. Yep, this is what started it. This is what they did, and then she went on. In particular, audiences took issue with her assertions, as seen in the video. Okay, I'm going to play the video, that PlayStation 5 had no exclusives due up in 2022, despite Sony having previously announced a general release window for God of War Ragnarok within the year, and that Hogwarts Legacy would be a Microsoft exclusive. Despite its reveal coming at a PlayStation event where Warner Bros. Interactive explicitly confirmed the Harry Potter as multi-platform. In turn, rather than engaging with her earnest critics and dismissing the obvious trolls, Frosk used a subsequent appearance on X-Play to disingenuously write off the above backlash as being based not on her work, but the fact that she was not as bangable as the previous hosts. Yeah, it has somehow been expected that you can talk about how you jerk off to women as a compliment. Yeah, I played the video so you all know what it is she had to say. She is in a now infamous network killing rant. Yeah, this rant is what screwed this entire network over here. They may have had a chance because they came in with nostalgia and people were interested. So it had a chance, but she just blew it out of the water. which despite being proudly touted and promoted at the time, had since been scrubbed in its entirety from all of G4's social media accounts. Yeah, they tried to hide it, it didn't work. Here at X-Play, our reviews are written and produced by a team of people, she explained. There are too many games for one person to shoulder the burden, so we divide and conquer. So when we use language like we or I, that's the reviewer, that's coming from the mouth and experience of the reviewer reading the review. And that's not to say that Gerard, DBH, Adam, or myself don't contribute to the reviews. The now former X-Play host who was cut from the network prior to its shutdown added, we absolutely do, but it will always be in varying degrees and take a whole team behind us. Now, nobody's not saying you couldn't do that, but people want honest reviews. That's what they want. They want something fun. And they don't want you screaming at your audience and telling them to go screw themselves. They don't want that. We have done the experiment and control for the variables. Adam will read a script written by the same writer that I will read the other half of the script for, but I'll be the one flamed. She then admitted, though it also happens to Gerard, and the experiences do not discount the sexism of how it happens to me when it does. Look, you know what? Let me tell you something, Let me tell you something. I already showed you the video. Let me tell you something. Bottom line of it, do not attack your fans. These are the people that you have to, that you are relying on to move forward. I started my YouTube channel not too long ago, and one thing I can tell you is I respect people who watch my videos. I even say at the end, if you have at the end of my video, I say if you have a different opinion, and I'd be happy to hear it. I don't mind you having a different opinion. All I ask is that you be respectful. There are people who aren't respectful. I still respect them in my responses. I don't get into arguments and all kind of thing or the other. I will have a discussion with somebody, okay. But I respect you, and I thank you for watching my videos and my content. That is what I'm doing. You came out and basically told your audience, if you don't like it, don't watch it. What were you expecting? The only person Frosk has to blame for what happened at G4 is herself. The only people that G4 has to blame for what happened with the network is Frosk and G4. You don't treat your fans like this and expect them to stick around. People are getting sick of these things. They don't want you telling them these kind of things when they're watching something. There are people who are going to make comments that you don't like. You move on. You cannot be thin-skinned when you're doing this. But regardless of it, G4 didn't stand a chance because they did one very important thing. They did not respect their audience. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. If you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell to be notified every time I put out a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.